Hey everyone, Sonic Healy Gang here. Welcome back to the weekly recap. Finally, some decent food. This week was better than the last two. So, let's get into it. But first, like and subscribe, or I'll call a family meeting the next time you have sex. Speaking of, we'll start with the low light of the week. I know. Michael Corinthos the third scenes are the low light. Well, it's not his fault, my beloved. Michael starts the week taking Jacinda to the gatehouse in a futile attempt to just once get some alone time with his girlfriend. We get a little bit of Jacinda's backstory here. When she was just 18, she met a man 10 years older than her, and they began dating. Her parents did not approve and cut her off completely, leading her down the path that led to her becoming a sex worker. That sounds sadly realistic. It's nice when these two actually get to sit down and talk and open up to each other. I really love this pairing, and God, I wish they would lean more into them. I hope sometime we'll get to see Michael open up about the traumas he suffered as a teen and even since then. Although, you might have to dedicate an entire episode worth of time to be able to list all of that. I simply love these two. I love their dynamic. Michael having to learn how to love again after the incidents, and Jacinda needing to learn to accept that she deserves to be loved. Who wants to bet that somehow this weird guy she dated just so happens to show up in Port Charles soon? Anyways, they then have sex in front of the fireplace. Nice. I love a good cliche. Although, anytime I see this happen, I just think about how much I would hate doing this personally. Like, it's way too hot. And I don't mean sexy, but I like it in TV shows. Because this is Michael and Jacinda though, they get interrupted. This time not by Christina, but by Olivia. However, Kate Mancy did direct this episode, so I still blame Christina. She put in the boss call, clearly. Olivia gets a whole eyeful, and she's not as happy about it as a lot of people would be. So to make something painfully long, mercifully short, Olivia gets really pissy about Michael having sex, and she texts Tracy 4 times to call a family meeting about Michael having sex. And the way she's talking about it sounds like someone is dying. Michael is like 30 years old and has 3 kids. He's a grown-ass man who had sex with his girlfriend in a completely different building to the main house. He should not have to discuss this because some people can't knock. But sure enough, Olivia calls her family meeting, which is just her, Ned, Tracy, and Michael. There are like 100 people living in that house. That does not count as a family meeting. Tracy really just does not want to be there. Like, she just doesn't want to hear this shit. Olivia starts talking to Michael like she's giving a 4th grade after school special. She keeps saying like, oh, what if one of the kids saw you? It was nighttime. Why are kids wandering the property alone at night? Why are they going to the gatehouse? Why is Leo leaving his retainer there in the case? Michael says that they are overreacting because they are. Let's cut to the chase, because this isn't really just about Michael having sex. Alright, that could have been an email. Keep it in your bedroom. Lock a damn door for once in your life, Michael. Jesus Christ. This is really about the fact Jacinda was a sex worker. I suppose we had to confront this at some point. Olivia and Ned both look down on Jacinda for being an escort, whereas Michael really doesn't give a shit. Liv thinks that somehow Jacinda is going to be a bad influence on the kids in the house. People keep saying this, and I'm just like, what do they think is gonna happen? What exactly is she gonna do? Teach them how to be a pimp? Like, get real. Tracy jumps in and basically just says, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just don't want you to be fucking all over my property. If you want to date a hooker, though, that's cool with me. I don't really care what you do. I didn't think Tracy was chill like that. We get a little back and forth between Liv and Ned versus Michael. Michael refuses to let his woman get disrespected. Hell yeah, brother. I still think he wasn't as messy as he could have been, though. He could have hit some low blows here on Liv, but he didn't. He would have been in his right to do that. They basically said he pays for sex. Brother, when you look like Michael, you don't have to pay. And you don't use people for sex. People use you for it. Tracy, however, chimes in one more time to kind of accuse Michael of doing that. I really don't know what about Michael gives her that idea. I think she's just projecting her bad taste in men onto him, but I do appreciate she's sort of trying to protect Jacinda in a way. Tracy tells Michael to show Jacinda more respect than a Quartermain man usually shows a woman. Michael decides there's no time like the present to get that done, and there's no better way for him to show how much he respects her than for him to go to her immediately and shove his tongue down her throat in a restaurant full of people. This all just felt really stupid and like a very forced conflict. Olivia and Ned are certainly far from saints, so their holier-than-thou routine was extremely grating. And I honestly don't know where the hell it came from. And like, just a few weeks ago, Chase tried to put Michael in jail for attempted murder via illegal means. That didn't call for a family meeting, but Michael has sex and stopped the presses. He is a grown man. And I really don't feel it's that crazy that he had sex in the gatehouse. There's no reason for anyone to be there. Is this really the best we can write for Michael right now? Hell, for any of these characters? In less annoying romance news, Rick took Elizabeth out on a second date. And for some reason, he is completely fumbling this time. Like, he all of a sudden has put 0 points into charisma. It is the second date, and this man is talking about how he has to help his brother run his illegal business so that he can get enough money to buy the house that they'll live in together. Rick, my goat, please calm the hell down. I may be over-exaggerating a little bit, but he really was talking about putting down roots with her. He managed to say all the wrong things. Liz is like, let's just take things slow, and he says, I will do literally anything to be with you. She says, don't put me on a pedestal. He responds, I think you are the perfect person. This man just cannot be normal about her. Liz seemed to be kinda getting the ick from the Rick. Especially when he talked about working for Sonny, which is fair. Nothing good has ever come out of Rick being involved with Sonny, no matter what way it was. But Lucas came along, and by trying to talk Liz out of being with Rick, somehow managed to instead do the opposite. Liz said, nah, I can fix him. And the day ended with a kiss, so seems they're still progressing. But I don't know. I just don't feel them lasting. To be honest, the Rick and Alexis scenes that happened before the date gave off old married couple vibes, so I can't help but ship them. And having their first official date is Lulu and Nathan. And I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore. The only reason I was into this couple was because I thought the fallout was gonna be super messy. Instead, all they gave us is a handful of maxi scenes and Dante making grumpy faces. Boring. Without that mess factor, there's nothing for me to really hang on to. They aren't really bad together, but this date kinda just exposed to me how boring Nathan can be. Yeah, he's hot. Does that really matter though if we're not even gonna do a love scene? I'm not even gonna get into that though. I've had enough of that subject on Twitter all week. All I'll say on that front is, what happened to the game I love? But yeah, these two have officially lost me. This straight up felt like something I'd see on the Hallmark Channel. But now, it's time for the main event. By far, the juiciest part of the week revolved around Jason and the spy games. As we prep to write Jason off for 2 months, the farewell tour continued with Jason saying goodbye to his one true love. That's right, Sonny Corinthos. Jason tells Sonny he's gotta skip town with Britt for a while, but that before he does, he's going to kill Director Cullum. Well, that's news to us. Sonny supports this decision if Jason thinks he can do it safely and without getting caught, which of course he does because he's Jason. Cullum burned Michael and is helping Sidwell within the WSB, so they have good reasons to want him dead. Sonny reasons that if Cullum does go down, Sidwell could very soon follow. The two reaffirm that they'll always be there for each other, and Jason leaves to go say his final goodbye. Meanwhile, Joss is meeting up with her old friends for drinks. I honestly just wanted to mention this scene because it made me really sad. It felt like we were watching in real time Joss realizing that this would be her last episode in her best friends' lives. Like, damn. She also has another run-in with Cullum. There's no way he's actually buying her act, right? In the shocker of the week, Jason actually remembered that he has a son. And he actually told him he was leaving this time and said goodbye. This scene is very important because in it, Danny constructs the largest sandwich in recorded human history. This Scooby-Doo ass sandwich. What do you think you're gonna do with that monstrosity, young man? You're just a boy. And he's putting chips in it. Your gluttony sickens me. I'm afraid that I gotta do it though. This week, the prestigious Healy Gang Performer of the Week award goes to Danny's Sandwich. Congratulations. In all seriousness, the Performer of the Week is actually Steve Burton, aka Jason. He had multiple good performances across the week. This one in particular was very endearing. Jason told Danny he was proud of him. Danny asked if he could go with him, but it's far too dangerous. So, Danny must lose the only parent he has left. Danny says that it's alright though, even though he's sad, and that Sam would have wanted Jason to go, which I don't think she would have, but whatever. Danny only asks for 2 things: that Jason promises this time he will be back, and he asks Jason to come to his basketball game tomorrow, and Jason says yes on both fronts. So bright and early the next day, Jason prepares to do what he does best: kill a motherfucker. Jason starts examining his rifle, but while he does, he starts having 5 million flashbacks. Most of them are of Carly. Very expected of Jason to be thinking about Carly first and not his son. Jason takes the rifle and heads out to find a place to snipe Cullum from. Meanwhile, Marco finally comes through for the team. He has this conversation with his dad, Sidwell, and it's almost endearing. The loving side of Jen Sidwell. Sidwell tells Marco how much he loves him and loves working with him. And the second Sidwell leaves, Marco steals the medication. So dramatic. I love it. Marco goes to give it to Lucas as fast as he can so that Lucas can give it to Britt. Unfortunately, Marco's betrayal is uncovered pretty much immediately. Pascal comes to get the meds and sees that some of it is missing, and he tells Cullum as fast as he can. And Marco was seen being shady with the meds twice already, so they know he took it. Britt is preparing to leave very soon. I'm talking, she's literally packing her bags. That's when Joss appears climbing up the fire escape. You are not Jason, kid. Stop the silly little act. Joss basically just wants to ask her to not rat her out to Cullum, which, why would Britt do that? As Joss leaves, she tries to squeeze Britt for just a little bit more information. She mentions that Cullum had some Faison items on him when they were together during the blizzard, and she asks Britt if she has any idea if there is a connection between Cullum and Faison. Britt replies, and I quote, "The only thing left of Faison is his brain in a jar, 4 kids, and his Huntingtons and me." Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Hey, wait a minute. 4 kids? 4 kids? What do you mean 4 kids? You can't just say that, Britt. Britt. And Joss doesn't even question it. Joss actually learned something useful and didn't even realize it. How typical. So, what the hell? Who is the 4th child of Faison? Who is the 4th spawn of Satan himself? The Antichrist. Could it be an evil Nathan twin? Nothin? Could it be Cullum? A person we haven't met yet? Or just a dialogue error and it doesn't mean anything? Who knows? I personally think that would be an extremely glaring dialogue error for nobody to realize and say, hey, you know Faison only has 3 kids, right? But I don't know. My money is on evil Nathan, though. Rocco then arrives very inconveniently for Britt. He wants to become a doctor after volunteering at the hospital and asks Britt if she will mentor him. However, Britt is a little preoccupied with getting the hell out of Dodge, so she points him towards Lucas instead. Rocco then clocks that Britt is leaving, but she tries to lie to him about it. So he leaves, and then Britt leaves to meet Lucas to receive her meds from him. They make the handoff on the pier, and we see that they are being watched. However, it's not by some villain ready to thwart them. They're being spied on by Rocco. Interesting to see what comes of that. Back with Jason finally, we see him on the roof, ready to kill Cullum, while Cullum speaks with Brennan and accuses him of working with Jason. Jason spends way too long staring at them through his scope, and he's standing on a roof across from them in broad daylight with no cover. Like, if they look out the window, they will see him, but he doesn't get spotted because he is Jason motherfucking Morgan. However, Jason doesn't just hesitate, he doesn't do it. He doesn't take the shot. Mr. Stone Cold not looking so stone cold this time. He leaves and he goes to his son's basketball game, which he probably didn't know he played until yesterday. I am shocked. For all the shit I've given him, he put his son first this time. Why the fuck would you choose now to do it, man? Kill that creepy motherfucker. Ugh. So he actually shows up to the game and Alexis stops him out front trying to get Jason to tell her if he's making her or Tracy Danny's guardian. Unfortunately, that is when Commissioner Dante arrives to arrest Jason on the orders of Cullum. I told you, you should have killed him. The same Cullum was a busy man on Friday, as he capped off the week arriving at Miller and Davis while Marco was there all alone. And he's holding a very large knife behind his back. Oh god. Marco is almost certainly dead. I've personally never really cared about him. honestly, but Sidwell is gonna go ballistic. I guess we'll see. He hasn't died yet, but that is all I have for you today. This was a better week than the last two, but I would say it was only okay still. Really, most of the action was on 2 days, Thursday and Friday. We were left on quite the cliffhanger. 2 cliffhangers, really. Jason being arrested and Marco probably dying. If Jason goes down, what will Britt do? And a 4th Faison kid? I think next week looks very exciting. This will almost certainly be when Jason is written off. I hate seeing him go, but it should be interesting at least. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. I hope you all have a nice day.